Today I'd like to talk to you about VPNs, virtual private networks, and how we use them in the workplace to enable us to work remotely from our houses, from hotel rooms, from our cars, wherever we're working. So in this diagram we have three components. The first component is our work LAN. Now our work LAN is any computer or networking device or server inside of the physical building, and this would be like IDEA or Collision Services or Sid Savage. Here we have the internet. We're all familiar with the internet cloud. And here we have our home LAN. Now our home LAN is any computers we have inside of our house. And it could also be a hotel or anywhere remote. But this represents us outside of the building. The purpose of a VPN is to allow this computer here in our home LAN to talk to one of these computers here in our work LAN. By default, they are not allowed to talk. And the reason for this is that the internet is a big, anonymous cloud of stuff. And we can't trust anybody that's on the internet, right? We don't know who they are or what their intentions are, and so we just don't trust them. So we have these little boxes here. There's a router at our work and a router at our home. And you'll see that everything that goes between our work LAN or our home LAN out to the internet goes through our router. Everything goes through the router, in and out. And this router, his job is to tell us whether or not we can trust the traffic that's going through. So by default, unless the router knows who we are, if somebody from the internet wants to talk to this computer, the router's just going to say, nope, you can't talk to that person. I don't know who you are. So I'm not going to let your stuff through, because unless you can prove to me that I can trust you, I'm not going to send all your traffic on to this computer and potentially give them viruses or other things. So we have to make this router trust us. Well, the way we do that is through a VPN. So on each computer that works remotely, there has been set up a VPN connection. And that VPN connection has all of this router's information, including its location, right? So where it is. So when you go into Windows and you say connect to the VPN, and you type in your username and password, it sends all that information over to this router. And this router then says, okay, I know that username, yep, and that's the right password, okay, I trust you. And then from then on, until you disconnect from the VPN, this computer will be allowed to talk to all of these computers just as though it was inside the physical building. So there are three steps to connecting to the VPN and to using your computer remotely. The first step is you have to connect to the VPN. The next step is that we use remote desktop to connect to our work PC. And then we access our files and our data. So on your computer at home, you will open up your VPN connections, you'll hit connect. You may or may not have to type in your username and password. It'll then connect to the VPN. After we've done that, we are then inside of this building with our computer. Then we need to remote desktop into the next PC, meaning that I can see the screen of this computer. And so this computer is doing all of its processing and all of its stuff that it does by itself, and it's just sending what goes up on the screen to my computer. And I can control it remotely. And then after that, I just access my files and get to my stuff. So there are 3 points of failure to a VPN. So if you're having troubles with the VPN and you're not able to do something, right, we need to start at step 1 and go through the process. So step 1, connect to the VPN. If it is not working, the symptoms will be that when you click connect on the VPN, it will say something like it can't authenticate the username and password, or can't find the remote host. It will give you some error message when you actually click the connect button. If you click the connect button and it says that it's successful and that you're connected, you are connected to the VPN and you're inside the building and that is functioning properly. The next step of the process is remote desktop. And so once I've connected to the VPN successfully, I try and open up my remote desktop session, and it'll give me an error. It'll say it can't connect to the other computer, or maybe, well, there's a whole slew of errors, but that is another step that can fail at remote desktop. And then I can access my files. Now if I'm having trouble accessing my files, it will be from the computer that physically exists inside the work building, and maybe I can't connect to a drive like an X drive or a G drive, or I can't open up a specific piece of software. And so that would be a problem with this actual computer that's inside the building. And so any one of these three things can go wrong. And when we troubleshoot a VPN connection problem, we start at step 1, we move to step 2, and to step 3. And once all three are working, you're able to do your stuff. So I hope this has been informative, and that concludes our VPN lesson.